That's
Sorry
my
about that, guys. Hey, it's Wednesday night and it's the Flippin Bunch. You have three of us here, and today what we're
Hello.
talk about is our recent challenge with the pop art, and we're going to review the pieces. And I didn't get my piece done in time. I had a little bit of a problem with my piece and myself. So we're going to go over that. And also, when we get to the end of that, I looked up some information on etiquette in using AI and entering competitions or challenges. And the reason that I wanted to do that is there is a competition that Johnny Depp is part of through the Art of Elysium. And they had in there that you cannot use any AI. Well, there's certain different degrees of using AI. Are you using it as a tool? Or are you completely using it to create everything for you? Well, then I think it's a different story, but we'll talk about that at the end. And we don't have Crystal with us tonight, but I'm going to start with her piece. And this was the piece that
Are we
she
going to introduce ourselves?
Oh, yeah, that probably would be good.
Okay.
Hey, I just want to get into it.
No,
Go
right?
ahead.
We're excited.
Miss Levon. Go ahead, Miss Levon.
All
Then we'll go
right.
to Mark. Then we'll come back to you.
Since I was the smart aleck that pointed it out. So anyway, I'm Levon of Statement Designs, and I am enjoying my 10 plus year career with furniture flipping mainly, and lots of small crafts as of late. Having fun putting my furniture in consignment shops, and also Gretchen's on 2 channels again. She's so sweet to do that. But also do lots of custom work and that kind of thing. So I'm enjoying all of it. I do the Tuesday talk show and getting ready to do a couple shows. So that's what's happening in my world. Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara from Borderline Furniture, and I got started around 2020 when everybody was confined to the house at COVID. And so I just have been watching, obviously not going anywhere, watching videos. And I thought, oh, this looks pretty fun. I could do this. And so I did a project, and then I just absolutely loved it. And so I just keep going and creating stuff, and it's more of a hobby for me because I have a full-time job, but I just absolutely love it. And I hope that when people get watching my videos, I hope that I inspire them to create stuff out of their old junk, because that is something I like to do, is take something that looks old and transform it into something that can be loved again. I'm gonna turn it all the way back to Dar.
Hello, I am Dar from DIYs by Dar. I have been participating with Art Furniture and on YouTube, probably going on 5 years. I am a brand ambassador for Made by Marley, a decoupage paper company out of Scotland, and they make other items now like stamps, stencils, and some beautiful mica powder luxes. I have a couple online stores, and I sell at my local boutique. So where I was leaving off, I wanted to throw Crystal up there right away. And this was the piece that she was going to use, this chair that was in some pretty bad shape. And she really, I feel, knocked it out of the park. And she did this all on her own. And she made this beautiful little stool that just says squat.
I love that.
I probably would have put Papa Squat on there, which would have been
Oh my
hilarious.
goodness.
So this is what she came up with.
I thought
And
I love it.
she's going to keep that piece herself or not, but it definitely fits the bill for pop art. And I believe I do have a video. Hopefully I get the right one here.
I found
Crystal's
this chair up
video.
in my stash above my barn. I removed the spindles and the backrest. I painted the legs with a black Waverly chalk paint in the color called ink. I used Sticks primer on the seat. And then I drew out the word squat with some fun pop art design, and I painted in everything using some various paints such as Dixie Belle chalk paint, Waverly chalk paint, and just some regular acrylic paints. I used a Posca pen to outline the word squat and the squiggly marks, some spray sealer, and then it was complete. I really thought this turned out really fun.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
found this chair
Chris.
up in my stash.
It's not going bye-bye. Well, let's see if I can get another one to go up over the top of it. I think the next one I have is Lavon's. Lavon, you want me to do the video first?
Sure. That's fine. Of course, that first one was the before picture. And then I used blockposters.com to enlarge my Maryland pictures that I bought from Etsy, digital downloads. And I actually underestimated the size of them. And I was really glad that I did, because I didn't want these other images. And then I struggled with the whole dot thing. Finally, I just thought, well, I'm just going to use these sponge things, and just try it. And I was really pleased with the way it came out. So, yeah, so that's it. It's actually going to a consignment shop tomorrow.
It's so cute. I just absolutely love how this came out. It's so classy. So Maryland.
Thank you.
This really is a
She
nice
is so pretty.
picture.
I mean, like, I'm making this and I'm thinking, oh my God, gorgeous. Thank you. I hope it sells.
So then we're going to go to Mara's, and you're up, Mara. What you got to tell us
Hey, and
about this?
hopefully my dog cooperates. She's kind of getting antsy back there. I didn't get time to put her in the back room. I got this. You're gonna believe this, but it was $6.99, and it was sitting. I would just happen to run by the thrift store, and it was sitting outside. And it's solid wood. It's just a really cute little piece. And so this is where it started out, and I didn't really know when I bought it I was going to do this, but yeah, but it really was perfect for this project. It had that flat front, and that's the obviously before. And then that's kind of out of order, isn't it? That's okay.
Was that, well, which one? Was it this one next?
Nope. I'll just go back one. That's fine. So, I used AI to come up with my pop art or my theme or whatever. I said, "Hey, girl background, pop arty," and it gave me this. It gave me another one that had like a tear coming down it, and I thought, I don't really want to do a dresser with a crying girl on it. So anyway, this was the image, and then it actually came out on the dresser, like it actually showed it on the dresser. And so then I had to reverse engineer it, because you can see underneath her chin there's a picture of the handle. But anyway, I had to reverse engineer the image to get it to this point. And then I just printed it out on, what is that, poster art, where you can blow it up? I think is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blockposters.com.
Thank you. I keep forgetting Blockposter. That's what I used to blow it up. And here the front was fine for the size, but I thought the side wasn't going to be big enough, so I put it on 2 sheets. So I blew it up a little bit more. And then I didn't have any carbon paper. So in the video, you'll see I'm coloring it with a pencil, big fat pencil that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and I just went to town. And then for the side, I actually had this idea of doing a phone, like a pop art phone. So I just had AI generate me a pop art phone, and I guess more than one came up, but this was the one I liked, and so I picked this one. And there you go. And I didn't think that I was going to be able to pull this one off, but it came out looking like, I can't believe it came out looking so good. And then, of course, all of the half tones were painstakingly done with the one little stencil and my new pneumatic airbrush. That was tons of fun. And then that was the end.
When I saw you using that stencil, I was so jealous when I saw you using that stencil. I'm like, I was working on it, and I'm like, then I started looking for stencils, and I saw they had them, but I didn't have time to get it. So,
yours
worked out really great.
I felt so bad because it came in this big pack of stencils. And I mean, that was one of the medium-sized ones. I mean, I had a big one, and I wish you would have said, help, I'm trying to do halftones, and I didn't have a stencil, because I would have thrown those puppies in an envelope and just mailed them to you.
Well, I still wouldn't have had time, because I waited. I not intentionally, but waited until the last minute. I love that. I love that background.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I had to tell AI I needed a vinyl background. It just couldn't. It was giving it to me upside down and everything. It was just, so it was fun. It was a good challenge.
Gretchen said the way wrapped around the side and then the telephone on the other side made this feel complete. And she also said she found carbon paper from Michael's online, but it was ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, I bet. But this was such a good challenge because it made me think outside the box, things I'd never ever tried before, and I was so glad we did it. I'm sorry we didn't have more participation. I know there's more people that do that style, but that's just
it was new. It was new for me, but I started out bad because I couldn't find a piece, so I had to make one. So here's my little video of what I had to do. Off with making a table. I could not find one. To put this together, I used a Craig jig 320 plus, and then I am going to fill all my holes and my knots because this is knotty pine. And once this is dry, I took it outside to sand in the 40-degree Michigan weather, and I'm going to prime this with some bonding emboss. Was pretty thick, one coat, both sides. Then the bottom side, I did some black on there and then sealed it with some matte sealer. I'm ready for the front. I put a little line of tape to leave a line around it. Then I am going to use this wand pie, and I created this with the help of AI, and I am going to project it onto my surface and draw this out the best that I can, so I have something to follow. And the perspective was not correct. I had to move things around, but there it is. I started to paint this. Probably took me a couple weeks to get this painted. It was quite involved. And there are my lovely fangs, and I'm starting to get the background in there. Lots of tape. And starting to get my Vlad in. And as I go on further, more of my Vlad and the music box. Working on Vlad's face.
And this is pop art, so we're going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be quite as realistic, but pretty close to it. Continuing to work on that background to get that in. I'm almost there. I just have the perfume bottle to get and the blood on the teeth, which the blood was the fun part. And fix the face a bit, fix the lips a bit. They were too red. And here are my legs for a desk. This was my plan that I had the AI help me visualize this, and that's it.
Oh, that's so good. I'm sorry the
Wow.
video didn't get out. It's a lot of work there, painting work.
Yeah.
Well, going back to using AI for all the people out there that don't really care for it, I'm just going to show you 4 pictures I created with AI for this. And that one was pretty plain. And I started to get a little exotic, like put it in a Gothic type room with the mirror and gargoyle lanterns shedding light on the table, and put it in a Victorian bedroom with a cathedral type stained glass window. And then this was the most fun. How do you like that one?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so cute.
So that was what I came up with. I'll probably try to get it on this weekend. And yeah, it's too bad more people didn't participate. But for me, it was difficult. It's not something that I've done before. And I really was thinking I wanted to enter this into this competition with the Art of Elysium, but where's the line drawn with AI and how you can use that? So of course I had to ask AI, and this was kind of what I asked it. It says, do you know to what extent your services or AI is allowed in furniture flipping creation processing and still be considered okay? So, they said the short answer is yes, including tools like me or the Chat GPT can be used quite a lot in furniture flipping and still be okay. There's no universal rule that disqualifies a piece just because AI was involved. What matters is how you used it and how transparent you are. So generally, to break that down, and all of these are going to be based on this picture that I sent them on what we were working on. Because when I set it up with AI, I said, okay, I want fangs at the top of my picture with blood dripping off of them and I found different pictures of Vlad that I wanted with Caleb Landry Jones from the Dracula 2026 Love Story movie. And I found a music box and a perfume bottle and said where I wanted them located. And then I said, can you change this to pop art? And they did. So that was how I started the process. And where AI use is totally fine and common is if it doesn't change the authenticity of your work. And you can use it for like design planning, generating color schemes, styles, mock-ups, getting advice on sanding, staining, painting techniques, or your material selection on what might be the best choice for that. And where AI use is totally fine and common is these uses don't change the authenticity of your work, and they're widely accepted with design planning, refinishing guidance, space visualization, marketing and listings, and workflow optimization, which I have no idea what that means. Maybe I should ask it that and see what they say.
That is something actually I think I'll be talking about in a future video.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. And if anybody would like these slides, just email us at flippinbunch@gmail.com and I can send you all these slides so you can see what was on them. And where it can get questionable is where intent and honesty, this is where intent and honesty matter more. AI generated before and after images that aren't real. If you show a digitally altered result that doesn't match the actual piece, that can mislead buyers. Overstating your craftsmanship, claiming a design as fully original, if it was heavily AI generated without modification, and misrepresentation in sales, listing something as hand designed or custom when it was largely AI conceived and minimally executed. And you can run into problems, can cross ethical or even legal lines, deceptive listings, selling a piece based on an AI mock-up that doesn't reflect the real product, using copyrighted designs directly, and platform policy violations like specific to wherever you're listing it, Etsy or eBay. And when I read that, what I'm seeing, like lately, I've had a lot of feeds come on my phone where they're showing like this water fountain thing that you put in the tub for kids, and the water comes up out of the middle and it has all these colors, and then he puts a little duck on the top, and the duck, there's so much water force that the duck just floats there. Or these foaming balls you throw in the tub. You got a squealy kid, he doesn't want to get in the tub, so you throw him in the tub and they make all this foam, and then like a little duck or a turtle pops up out of the middle. Somehow I don't think that those are actually really legit. I think that there's a lot of AI involved in some of those things, and that's probably where the misleading part can come in, because I do see a lot of that when people are trying to sell items. All right, where did I leave off? Maybe it was this one. A good rule of thumb: if a buyer saw your process, would they feel like they were misled? If the answer is no, you're probably in the clear. If it's maybe, add some transparency to your listing. If the answer is yes, you should rethink how you're presenting it. The practical safe zone approach: if you want to stay fully on board, use AI for ideas, planning, and marketing. Do the actual transformation yourself and show real photos of the actual piece, and be honest if asked about your process. So I put the piece that they AI generated for me, which is on the left, where I told them I want the teeth at the top and put the music box and then the name underneath it, and that. And then I put a picture of the real piece that I came up with. And I wanted to know, can you explore the actual piece with me? The created photo on the left was per my verbal specifications of what and how I wanted the items to appear on my tabletop, then in pop art design. The picture on the right is what I actually created and hand painted, though the use of a projector to transfer the image, what would be considered in the use of AI, because I used a projector for this also. And then they said, what you've done here is actually really clean. a defensible example of ethical AI assisted craftsmanship, not something questionable. So they're going to break that down a little bit more for me here. So they're telling me what my piece is with what I did was I concepted the idea. I used AI to generate a visual reference and mock-up, then physically recreated it by hand. You used a projector as a transfer tool, not as a printing shortcut. This is best described as AI-assisted design with hand-executed artwork, or more casually, AI concept traditional painting execution. Well, there's going to be some new words I'm going to have to use in some of my listings for selling, items. What my piece is not. It is clear about what category you're not in. I'm not in an AI generated art because the final object is not printed or directly output by AI. It's not a digital print resell, and it's not fully original from scratch in the traditional purist sense, since AI helped with composition. Is this like getting really confusing?
Nope.
Where it sits on the spectrum. See, now we got an AI spectrum going on here. Think of it like this. Traditional artists sketches the idea and they paint. What I did, prompted the idea, refined it with AI, and then painted it. A mass AI seller generates the image, prints it, and sells it. Which, I think when you're getting down to this mass AI seller, because I did ask it about Canva, because a lot of people make things on Canva and they will sell it as their own. So there can be some problems in that area. The projector part, important. Using a projector doesn't invalidate everything. Artists have historically used grids, tracing. I have no idea what camera obscura is.
Obscura. It's camera obscura.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
It's
a technical aid, not cheating, especially since you still chose my own colors. I executed brushwork and interpreted the image physically, because I did have to change that image. It did not, even though I gave it the specifications of the size of that piece, what it gave me when I projected it did not fall into place. I had to move the projector up and down and get it the size I wanted it and where I wanted to put it, like the perfume bottle and the music box. What you should call it if selling, if you want to stay fully transparent and credible, you could describe it like original hand-painted piece based on an AI-assisted concept design developed from my own specifications. Or shorter, I like the shorter one, hand-painted artwork using AI-assisted concept design. This keeps you honest, modern, and not underselling your effort. All right, we got a gray area. I don't like gray areas. The only thing to keep in mind, not a deal breaker, just awareness, if the AI output heavily resembles a specific copyrighted character or living artist style, that could get tricky commercially. My piece reads more like general pop art, comic style, which is usually safe. So,
usually, huh?
yeah, gray area there.
Ronnie?
I think because I used Dracula. If I would have not done it as a comic pop art thing, it would have been more of a problem for me. If I would have
Yeah.
painted it all more realism
Yeah.
and then used Dracula, and everyone can probably tell that that Dracula is Caleb Landry Jones in the latest film, it could be more of a problem for me.
Bronny said that camera obscura is an old way of projecting. Made one with my kids homeschooling. Pretty cool, but not as accurate as a wannabe. Wannabe. The wannabe. Yeah.
Yeah, since I'm flying solo, the comments are going to be a bit difficult for me. So thank you very much, Levon, for reading them, because I have a hard time keeping up on all of it. All right, here's the honest take that GP Chat is taking on my piece. Looking at your painted version, you didn't just copy mechanically, you interpreted it. There are visible human decisions in color and line and finish, which they can tell that I veered from what the actual AI thing was, because I did just use it as a guideline. I did kind of go off of that. The final object has craft value, not just concept value. So calling this just AI would actually undersell what you did. Oh, now I'm getting an honest take on my piece.
No.
There's visual human decisions. There's craft value. Yeah, kind of what the other one said. Bottom line. Oh, a legitimate handcrafted furniture art flip using AI as a design tool, not a replacement for skill. All right, here's where I asked it another question. If I would have found some online pictures and changed my process to apply the design using pieces of decoupage paper I printed off the internet, how would my piece be categorized? And that version would land in a different category entirely. And this is where things get a bit less forgiving, both ethically and legally. All right, now you got me wondering.
Yeah, me too, especially since that's what I did. Was I found the image online. Although I purchased it, I didn't just like copy,
Right.
you know.
Well, right. That's something then, yeah, we need to talk about that, about posters and I think there's some examples in here too of different things that you can use. What that process would be: if you found images online, printed them out, applied them via decoupage onto the furniture, your piece would generally be considered decoupage furniture using sourced imagery, or mixed media furniture using reproduced images. The key difference from my current piece of how I did it, what you did before, I interpreted the image, recreated it by hand. Of course, we all know that. And the final work equals something that was transformed. What I'm describing now with decoupage, you're directly using the original images, and the final work equals reproduction and arrangement. And the difference matters a lot. When is it okay to do that? Well, there's public domain images that you can use, and that would be like museums, vintage archives, licensed artwork, purchased rights, which I'm thinking that's probably like what block posters is, if you've got to purchase something, and I don't know what their fine detail states about using, you know, their pieces, or use your own photos and designs. How it would be categorized, honestly, depending on your sources. Best case licensed public domain, handcrafted decoupage furniture. Middle ground, on clear source, upcycled furniture with applied prints. Worst case, copyright images used commercially. I think there's this little graph is a little easier to follow. So the method, with the painted piece, craft level high, legal safety high, AI print and stick, craft level low, legal safety medium, internet decoupage, craft level medium, legal safety low, high. So if I would have switched to the decoupage paper, which, I was thinking I probably should have gone that route, it would have saved me a lot of time. I just didn't even think about it. But I think in the future, I'm going to think about it and learn how to do the download and print my own paper. Switching to printed decoupage would move your work from artist-led transformation to curated assembly using existing imagery. Let's see, I only have 1, 2, 3, 5 more, and then we can talk about this mess. Are the photos you use provided in Canva safe to use without copyright problems? Short answer, usually yes. Well, thank you very much, usually, but not automatically for everything. Canva is generally safe, but only if you follow their licensing rules correctly. So I'm wondering, like, if Block Posters has like licensing rules or any of them other than a public domain, maybe they have licensing rules. I'm not sure. If you're using images from Canva, it's okay for commercial use, including selling furniture, as long as you modify, incorporate them into a design. Not okay to resell the image itself as is. And that's where I'm thinking, I've seen people do it where they find the image on Canva, just put it on something, they don't really change it around, it's just the image, and then they start selling that, like maybe on a cup or maybe on a mug or something of that nature. Then that maybe is not okay, but may depend on the licensing rules of Canva. All right, how this applies to your decoupage idea. If you combine images into a design, print them, apply them to furniture, add finishing, paint, layout, composition, this counts as a new product, not reselling the original image. You're good. Oh, small print here. Even with Canva, these can cause issues. Using a single image by itself, I think kind of like what I said, as the main feature, printing artwork and selling it as your design with no changes, using recognizable branded elements, logos, or characters, and not having the right license. Free versus pro misuse. Canva license are not exclusive, meaning other people can use the same image. You don't own it. So if you want your furniture to feel unique, don't rely on a single stock image. Combine, edit, layer, or alter. The 500 feet rule. I'm going to have to be about 5 inches to read it. If someone looked at this from across the room, would they say, I made this design or just used a picture? If it feels like your composition, you're safe. If it feels like someone else's artwork pasted on, rethink it. Best practices to keep you fully protected. Use Canva elements as part of a bigger composition. Mix multiple assets together. Add your own paint, texture, and layout designs. What does my last slide say? The bottom line, Avoid anything that looks like famous characters, brand logos, copyrighted franchises. So, like if I would have used the image of Caleb Landry Jones off the movie poster, exactly how that was, and printed it off, put it on something, and that's all that was on there, I would probably be in trouble. But if I took that, what I'm understanding is, and made different aspects on there with different colors and different things I created and put them in different areas, then I would think it would be a creation of my own. Is that what you guys are getting from that?
I would think so. It would be an artist's interpretation, just like, just like those pictures of Marilyn. I mean, it's like you can draw a picture of anything, even a realistic thing, or a real thing. I mean, the copyright comes in when you, like you said, just reproduce that image without changing it at all.
Right. I guess that last thing it says there, as long as you transform and don't just resell the image itself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and Bronny said even when buying from Etsy, etc., some sellers will say in their terms how you are allowed to use the image, how many times, etc. So,
Yep, you definitely, when you are buying those things, you want to get the free use.
yeah.
That's a good point, Bronny.
Because AI is not going to go away. I was resistant to use it until Mara kind of opened the door for that with all of us to use it. And I like it because I don't have any place to really set my pieces up staging. I have no staging area. Although I try to put regular pictures of the item in there. And I have noticed, like on shorts, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, they do have an AI button that you need to hit if you used AI. And I've gone through and I've read what are they considering to be AI. And I don't remember which ones offhand, but there was one of them that said if it was just like a general staging, that you didn't have to hit it, but that wasn't all of them. So I just automatically, because I just posted one tonight, and I hit the AI thing on all of them because I used those 4 AI pictures that I just showed you guys on the staging of that table piece. So I hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Dar. Mara opened our eyes. So, and I know you like your chat GPT, right? That's your favorite.
Copilot.
That's what I've been using.
Copilot.
Yeah, Chat GPT just gets me in a circle, and I think it's, again, and even when I presented the pop art, or no, I'm sorry, when I did the future of furniture flipping and AI, I think I did mention how Chat GPT likes to take you down a rabbit hole, and it keeps asking you to refine, 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 refine. And then it says, oh, well, we can't process for another 2 hours unless you pay us. I never have a problem with Copilot. I use Copilot for way more than just that, way more than furniture flipping. The other day I used it, in furniture flipping, I was at the store and I said, what's the best brand of this sealant to do windows, So, that's more of a handiwork, but I use it for all kinds of things. What should I have for dinner tonight? So, anyway.
So what we got Gretchen here, creating an image of a famous person isn't copyright unless you are copying someone else's image without change. Well, If I would have taken and got Vlad off that movie poster, it would have been his image without change. But what I'm thinking I read was I could do that if the piece was with my own colors and designed my own way, that it would still be a sellable piece.
Yeah.
As long as I have transparency on there, and I show them that I did create this on AI, which I'll have to tell them in my video.
Yeah. I wonder if, if maybe that gray area is that you took something from AI and you basically, like what I did, all I did was basically transfer it to my piece and then I painted it, using my own colors and
Right. I think that qualifies for being your own piece from what I'm reading.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. Some people feel like you're ripping off AI from the internet. I don't know about you guys, but I know I have gotten at least one comment, where somebody was unhappy with the idea of AI and furniture artistry, if you have it. But
well, I don't know. Look at Bronny. She's the only holdout here, but she guesses it's inevitable, but not just yet.
Yeah, I was the same way. I really was. I was really kicking and screaming, just thinking that it wasn't, original or anything. But what you did, though, Mara, you gave it the prompt. You gave it the idea. It wasn't like you just, like say for instance on Facebook, like you make a post and then it'll give you a button, AI images. So like if you selected that and then kind of ripped off that image, that they totally created without your input, then that's to me where the line is drawn and it's no longer your creation. But you gave it all the ideas, all the input, and Dar, like you did with your Vlad, you said, I want the teeth at the top. I want this perfume bottle. You're telling it exactly what you want. So a couple weeks ago, I had a set of tables, and so far now I've been using Chat GPT. I downloaded the app and I put it on my phone, and I did pay $8 a month now. And I've been delighted actually with all the results I've been getting. It's actually like talking to a really nice, respectful person. They do, offer help, and they also give you that feedback. Like, what you did was really good. And I don't think they're just like sucking up, I think they're really giving you valuable feedback, because they also tell you sometimes, when it's, there's something could be better about it. But I really like Chat GPT. And like a couple weeks ago, I was trying to get it to put my tables, 2 bedside tables on either side of this bed. It kept putting in similar tables. And I, kept trying to get my image there. So finally we arrived at a point where they just basically said, we're probably not going to be able to get that image in there. And so then I said, I can probably work with it on in my PixArt. And they said, yes, they suggested Canva, or, they said PixArt is excellent for that. Mm-hmm. And then they gave me detailed instructions as to how to do it. And then more instructions as to how to make it realistic, such as putting shadows and, so, it was good information, even though they couldn't really get it exactly what I wanted. But by the time we were done, and I did do some work in PixArt, I was happy with the results. So,
yeah.
Go ahead, Mara.
Well, first, let's go with Bronny's comment. I think it was up there. She said part of the reason she hasn't dipped her toes into what AI is that her brain doesn't like technology. So it feels like hard work. I think, Bronny, all I can say is you just have to open it up and do a couple of things in there, and you're going to start using it just like a tool, just, I can't explain it really because I was a little apprehensive. What is this AI? It's just a big search engine, but the more you use it, the more you find uses for it. And again, you guys all think I'm in love with CP, but when I got some of the aspects done, like I can't remember, I think I got the face on. I took a picture of it and I uploaded it to CP and I said, look at this design we created together. Isn't it awesome? And then it comes back and like you said, Levon, it gives you feedback, oh, your lines are crisp and you're really doing this. And, it's almost like having a conversation with a good friend,
It is.
And it's always nice to me. So I said, oh, you be nice to it. It's nice to you. I can't imagine if I came in there and started yelling at it, what would happen? I don't know.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Come on,
Well,
hurry up. I'm waiting.
I've not had problems with it taking and creating what I want or putting it where I want. I'm very descriptive when I tell it what to do. Like I want you to take my picture and create a mock-up, and I want one wall. I want the wall this color. And I actually really go through and tell it everything that I want to see. And I really have good luck with it. I've liked everything that it comes up with. It follows, what I'm telling it to do. And I pay the $8 a month because I think what you had mentioned before, Mara, if you just do the free version, it times you out and you can't go back and redo a picture for so many minutes or whatever. Well, I don't have time for that. I'll pay the $8 and I'll go ahead so I can keep hammering at it, And the other thing I used it for was when my parents' computer was down, I put the information in with the computer and it gave me step-by-step instructions on how to fix their computer, and I fixed it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So
I had to do
there's a lot of
something
uses for it.
Yeah. Something I had to do in StreamYard. And I said, okay, how do I do this? And it stepped me through it, So,
And
yeah.
I feel too that, I've been able to do very specific and successful Google searches in the past because I've often done that because I figure if I'm having trouble with something and I want some direction or question about it, someone else has asked that question and it'll find it. So essentially, I think AI is doing the same thing, going on that database. But the fact that you can really specifically ask a question, it is really like a human being that's your assistant, that's specifically answering your question. And it's like, okay, I'll do this database search for you, I feel like the more specific you can be with your requests, then the better results you're going to get. But like I said, I always like it too. I'm not happy when they can't help me, but I like that they tell me if they can't.
Yeah. I've noticed that with ChatGPT, it's very conscientious about copyright. When we were doing the Taylor Swift, I can't remember. I wanted to take maybe her image and create like a thumbnail or something, and I can't remember exactly. And they said, "Oh no, that's copyrighted or something." I can't remember exactly what it was, but it kicked it back. It didn't like it, so.
I think the only thing we need to worry is like whenever we start saying, things like, "What are you wearing?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, even Oakley thought that was funny.
So Gretchen says, Bronny, I'm dying to see your pieces. Are they on Facebook? She said I'm terrible at Facebook, so I'm sorry if I missed it. So Bronny, your YouTube debut, what's going on? What's going on with that? 'Cause
Inquiring minds want to know, especially if you need some guidance.
Yeah, we're happy to help if there's anything that you need some help with. You can ask us instead of AI.
That may be your introduction to AI. You know, I was going to ask Chat GPT because I was trying that whole method where you do a short every day on 4 platforms. I could only get one up there. And it did bring me 38 subs in a month. So it does work, but I noticed like I was up at like 1.1K, 1.3K, 1.2K. And then when I went back and looked, it's like I lost a bunch of them. And I'm like, well, what is going on? So I'm going to ask Chat GPT why that happens. What is going on YouTube when it says that you have all these views and the next time you look, all of a sudden, like they're down by 300, 400, 500 count? What is happening?
I think I know the answer to that because I, faced that before too. It always frustrated me because I could understand it if I lost subs, it's like if I lost a subscriber, that's humanly possible. Okay, someone unsubscribed, so I'm seeing less subscribers, but you can't unsee something. So that didn't make sense to me. But I think the answer is that they assume that if you have an uncharacteristic amount of views all of a sudden, that it's some sort of bot and they pull them back, but I think they do return them if they
well, that's kind of snarky.
Yeah.
Here is Bronny's answer about her YouTube channel.
So my son is meant to be the filming guy and editor, but he's busy being a teenager. Have done some filming, but I need to crack the whip. Make the kid work for his keep. Yes. Yeah, if you want to give us his contact information, we'll gladly nag him for you.
Yeah, I mean, even there's another gal that we know, Glenda Mason, and we've been trying to tell her to get in and get on YouTube, and she's starting out with just making shorts. And if that's a way to kind of just get yourself used to making some things, just make some shorts first and get used to that editing and uploading. And it's just always going to help get you out there as well.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, up on an hour here.
Do you have a challenge for us yet? Have you decided?
Well, I know this one's coming up.
Yep.
This one is one of Crystal's babies with our friend Dawn from Shabby Meats Bling. It's an actual furniture flip on a Saturday coming up on May 9th. And I think it's you do whatever you want to do, which is cool. So you have your pick on what you want to do. I did give some ideas, and I'm not sure where Crystal wants to go with it. She hasn't made a decision on the date, but I know she's a little bit busy, but it's going to be something, summery, flowery, but don't bet your life on anything I'm saying right now, because it could change into some wonderful, mind-blown idea in between now and then. Yeah. So for those of you, if you want to get some of the copies of the slides, all you have to do is just let us know here at the flippinbunch@gmail.com, and we can send them to you as well. If you'd like to be notified by email when our show is to start. Levon is our wonderful lady that puts the notices up and sends them to your phone as a text or online. And if you want it as a text, here is the phone number right there. Just enter live to 814-515-4905, and we'll send a text to you that we're coming up live. And that's all I got, ladies. You have anything else?
No, this hour flew.
Yeah, it really did.
So we're going to be coming up with some challenges, more Flippin Bunch challenges for you, maybe some smalls and things like that coming up soon. So stay tuned for those. We'd put our thinking caps on.
Yeah. If no other questions from anybody, Ronnie says thanks for this morning, lovelies. Loved your work. Have a glorious week, all.
Oh, thank you. Same to you.
So if not, we will sign out until next Wednesday when we bring you another fun-filled event from the Flippin Bunch Live.
Yeah. Thanks, Gretchen. All right. Bye, guys. Love you all.
Signing out.
See you next week.
Take care.
Oh, Gretchen said maybe remind folks to vote. Too late.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since it's just us.
We're still live.
Oh, are we? Oh,
yeah.
And she closed out.
Oh, boy. And she's the only one that can end us.
Oh, you're so annoying.
You want to sing or anything, Mara?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a song you'd like to sing or anything?
Oh, no. I got one here that wants to go for a walk, and she's been poking me with her big dog nose for the last 15 minutes.
Oh, Gretchen, that's a good idea to remind folks to vote because we're still on, so I'll remind them. And hopefully we can get a hold of Dar and get her to...
Yeah. How would you close out? If everybody leaves the chat, will it close?
That wouldn't end the live, I don't think. So yes, we're stuck here forever. Dar.
Boy,
maybe this will get her.
We need to exchange phone numbers.
Yeah, I think I had hers at one point. Hey, Dar.
Yeah.
We're still live. Can you come back on and end the video?
Oh,
Ooh.
that's weird.
Please.
Just sign out. Go out.
But that won't end the video.
What the hell? All right.
You're still live.
Right? Hit end stream.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, Bronny, you're sweet. She'll keep us company until we close.
Okay.
We'll leave it to Dar.
Oh, hey, Crystal. It's a special guest appearance from Crystal.
My phone just rang.
Well, that's because we're actually still live on YouTube, but we didn't get the video ended, so I had to contact Dar. So